I replaced myself with a voice AI assistant. And today I'm going to show you exactly how you can do the same from complete scratch. Before, I answered every single call from my agency because if I didn't answer, I could lose a prospect. But that meant I was getting interrupted in the middle of important work or forgot to call people back. It was a mess. Now the AI answers all calls 24/7 in multiple languages. Here's what we're going to do in this video. First, I'll scope out the project on a flowchart builder, looking exactly on all the different use cases that I want the AI to be able to do. Then I'll show you how we take that flowchart and convert it into a fully functioning voice agent using a platform, ElevenLabs in this case. We're going to go through the process of prompt engineering, which is going to tell the AI exactly how to behave in the different situations. And then we'll add the functions to give it the ability to transfer calls, book appointments, and store call data in a database. And of course, throughout the process, we'll be testing the agent to make sure that it's doing what we instructed it to do. My name is Jacques and I help founders and service businesses actually save time and money with AI today. So if you're a business owner and receive a lot of phone calls, especially repetitive questions, you might want to build a system like this for yourself. If you want some help with that, book a consultation call with me through the link in the description. Now, I don't want to waste your time, so let's jump right into it. We are now here in Miro, a free diagram mapping software that we can use to build out the different workflows of our agent. And you don't have to use Miro, you can use Figma or ExcaliDraw. There's other good options around. And we're basically using this to add these kind of sticky notes that we can write something in and that we can arrange in some order to basically build out the different workflows, and we can connect those with each other. Like so. Okay, we're going to start with what this is. It starts with an inbound call. And then we're going to have the message that the assistant says, "Hi, Alex." And then we're going to have our three different workflows that our AI agent should go down throughout. First one is emergency calls. Then we have appointment booking. And finally, general questions. So you can see already how we're working out the workflow visually, and it's much easier to see what the AI agent is supposed to do afterwards. And of course, the most impressive part here is that the AI agent will be able here in the middle to basically capture, detect the intent of the caller and route them in one of those three different directions. And I'm going to continue finishing up this workflow right here, and then I'm going to get right back here and we're going to go through it together. Okay, we are back here at our receptionist. I mapped it out, everything a little bit more beautifully, and so we can go through it, and I color coded every time that the AI takes an action. So here, as I said before, the AI identifies the caller intent and then goes down either emergency calls, where it transfers the call to my number. So it uses the transfer tool. The second route is the appointment request, where first it's going to ask a qualifying question. Do you already have a specific AI project in mind? If yes, it will use the appointment booking tool. If no, it will ask the follow-up question. Do you have a budget for AI solutions? If yes, we're going to ask, hey, please provide the name, phone number, and brief description of your project. And then we're going to save that in Airtable to be able to call them back later. If no, it's just going to send them to the website to look at some use cases. And then the third one is general questions, where it's just going to use the knowledge base to answer these specific questions. Now we're going to move on to ElevenLabs. That is the platform where we're going to build this AI receptionist. So after you've created an account, you just go on the agent section right here and create new agent. And we're going to just do a completely blank agent. We're going to call it receptionist version 2 because we already have one. And this is what we're greeted with, the ElevenLabs interface. Here is a system prompt. This is the most important part. This is basically where we tell the AI assistant what it can do, what it shouldn't do, what's its role, how it should speak, and we're going to get into that a little bit more in detail in just a second. Otherwise, I wanted to go through these settings quickly. So here's the first message. That's basically what the AI is going to say. So we know that already. First, we're going to copy this message right here. Okay, and then we can choose the voices. So ElevenLabs is really known for the amazing quality of their voices and how natural they sound. So we can click on the voice here, and then we can basically choose a voice. You can save a few. I have already a few in different languages that I saved here, and I actually like Mark. He sounds pretty good. For the voices, you can go back to the ElevenLabs dashboard, and then you go on to voices. And here there's a vast library of voices to choose from. Basically, you can go into filters, and you can choose, for example, a gender, let's say male. We want them middle-aged, and just going to leave that for now. We do want a specific language, let's say French in this case. And then we have a bunch of languages that we can choose from. You also see which ones are the most popular ones. For example, this one right here.
Vous recherchez une voix narrative pour un audiobook, une story ou tout autre.
Which you can have a little taste from, and then you can save them here, and then they're going to show up in your agent's dashboard. Over here, we can choose the languages. So there's about 33 languages, I think, that you can add. So when you do that, then it's also a good idea to add a specific voice to that language, because otherwise you're going to have Mark over here speaking with kind of a weird accent. Down here, we can choose the LLM model. So you have basically free reign of different models. That depends on how fast your assistant is gonna be able to reply. For example, Qwen 3 here has a really low millisecond response time, but then it's also not gonna maybe respect the prompt as closely, and it's maybe not gonna be as proficient in its responses. We have the Google models, we have the OpenAI models, and so on. Just real quick, if you want any help with setting up a voice agent for your business, book a call with me in the description of the video, and we'll look at the highest ROI opportunities for your business together. Okay, we're now moving on to the prompt. So for that, we're gonna take the work that we did previously, and we're gonna go here and take a screenshot of our workflow, and we're gonna paste that into ChatGPT. And then we're gonna give it a prompt. And we're gonna say, please create a voice agent prompt using the workflow and the framework below. So we have like the role, that's the character or persona that we want. In this case, the friendly receptionist. We have the task, what it's supposed to do. Then we have the flows, like flow 1, flow 2, flow 3. And notice we're using hashtags here. We're gonna get into that in a second. We have examples, we have notes, and we're gonna see what it's coming up with. So ChatGPT gave us a really good basis for a prompt here, but what we want to do is have it in markdown format. Now ChatGPT has generated it for us in markdown format. So you can see here the hashtags, double hashtag. This is heading 1, heading 2, can go up to heading 3, and it's bolded out with this asterisk here, for example. And we're gonna copy that and go to a tool that we're gonna use for this called Stack Edit. So I copied everything in, and here we now basically see everything that the AI sees. The advantage of this is this markdown format is that the AI models, like ChatGPT, have been trained on markdown formatting. And so it's going to make it easier for ChatGPT to understand our prompt and respect what we want it to do. So here now we can see that the double hashtag is the role. Here it is bolded out. So here on the right we see everything that the AI can see, which you can see is much more organized and makes it easier to understand and to follow. But I definitely wouldn't just use a prompt that ChatGPT gave us. So I'm gonna go in here, make a few changes, refine it a little bit, and then we're gonna post it into ElevenLabs. I posted our refined prompt into the ElevenLabs agent. So let's go through it quickly. We have a role. We tell them the goal on what to do, and we tell it the task. So if you want, you can pause the video here and have a look. We ask it to follow one of these 3 flows, which is the emergency, where we tell it in what situation it should react in this way, and then what to do. And we're gonna get to the tools for that in just a little bit. Secondly, it's the appointment request with our questions, and then we're gonna as well use tools to look at the calendar and also book the calendar slot if it's free. And we have an appointment booking flow for that. And then lastly, we have the general questions where we just tell it to use the knowledge base. Tone and style tells it how it should feel: confident, warm, knowledgeable, smooth, always be kind. And in the notes, we can put things like how to pronounce numbers, like as letters and not digits, because that's going to be easier to repeat back for the AI. And other things that we maybe do not want the AI to do, like do not explain to the user anything technical behind like what you're doing, for example, looking up the appointment slots. Beautiful. So let's publish this, and then we're going to give it a little test.
Hi, this is Alex from MediaMind. How can I help you today?
Yeah, hi Alex. I would like to book an appointment, please.
Do you already have a specific AI project in mind?
Yeah, we want to set up a voice agent for our agency.
Okay, I can help you with that. Let me check for available slots. How about tomorrow at 2 p.m.?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Great. Could you please provide your name and email address so I can book the meeting for you?
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there, but so far that is working fine. Obviously, it cannot book any appointments yet because we haven't set that up yet. And that's what we're gonna look at now. So if we go back to our agent and we're gonna look at the different tools. So first of all, end conversation. That's just gonna allow the AI to end the conversation, and not only the caller can hang up. Detect language is useful if we want our agent to speak different languages and switch from one language to the other. Gonna enable that too, and then we're gonna go and add Spanish. And we're also gonna add a voice for that. That is for Spanish. We're gonna pick Mario.
El amor está compuesto de una sola alma que habita en 2 cuerpos.
Perfect. And we're gonna test that in just a second. Back to the tools. Transfer to number. That's the one that we want. So we're gonna have, it's gonna be called transfer to number. And there's a default description for this in here that we can just leave. And then we're gonna set up some rules for when this is supposed to happen. For the condition, we're gonna be entering if the caller says something like, and then this is what we had already in the prompt. So this is urgent. I want to speak to a human. Connect me with a representative. Transfer me to an agent. Then it's gonna transfer the call to this number. Gonna save that. And that's all for the tools that we need right now. We're gonna add the calendar booking tool in a little bit. Moving on to the analyzer section is where we can add something really interesting, which is the data collection. So here we're gonna add some data points that we want the AI to detect during the call, and that's going to make it much easier in the end to collect that information in a database, which we're going to do at the end with Airtable. So what we want to collect is the name, which we're just going to call the name of the caller at data point. The second one is also going to be a string, and that's going to be the email address of the caller. And then a third one, which we're going to call the booking dates, which we're also going to do in a string. And it's going to be the booking date agreed on with the caller in the ISO format. And finally, we also want to add the summary of the call, and that's just gonna be the summary of the interaction with the caller. Gonna hit publish here, and then we can go and test the tools that we just set up.
Hi, this is Alex from MediaMind. How can I help you today?
Ya, hi Alex. ¿Puedes hablar español conmigo también?
Hola, claro que sí. A partir de ahora podemos hablar en español. ¿En qué puedo ayudarte hoy?
Bonita. Oh, Alex, really, I need to talk to the founder, please. Can you please transfer my call? It's an emergency.
I understand you need to speak with the founder and that it's an emergency. Please wait while I transfer you. I'm sorry, it seems there was an issue with the transfer. I'm unable to connect you directly at this moment. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Okay, what we can do here now is go into the analysis section, and then we can actually look at what happened there in the phone call. So, first of all, we have the name, and it only collected Alex because that was the only name that was talked about, but it's not my name, and it didn't collect an email address or booking dates. And we do have the summary. If we look at the transcription, we can see that the agent switched to Spanish automatically and then back to English when I was speaking English. And then it did try to transfer the call, but there was an error because it needs to have a Twilio number on there. We're going to move on, and we're going to set up the last thing, which is here under the security tab. And that is the post-call webhook. That is going to send the information that we collected during our call to a database. We're going to use N8N for that transmission, and we're going to use Airtable to collect the information. So what we do is we're going to go to select webhook, and then in your case it's going to be create new webhook. We're going to call it N8N end of call report, and then we're going to go to N8N. N8N is a workflow builder. I'm sure many of you are familiar with it. After you set up an account, you're going to be greeted with an empty board here, basically. And what we're going to do is add, first of all, a webhook. So that's going to open this first node here for us. We're going to open that, and we're going to click on production so that it keeps recording, basically. And this is the URL that we need. We're going to copy that. We're going to go back into our N8N agent and paste that here. Create. Don't need that. And now back in N8N, we're going to save this and we're going to publish it. And then we can execute the workflow and we're going to test it. We're going to have to assign a phone number to our agent. Otherwise, it won't, the preview information is not going to get captured in N8N or Airtable. So what we do is we go back to the platform and into phone numbers. And here you can import a number or buy a new number. I bought a US test number here for my agent, and we're just going to use that. So in N8N, if we now go look at our executions, we're going to see the call that succeeded, and we're going to have all the information that came through. So that's a lot of different things right now, and we're going to go through that in a bit, where we're going to map it to our Airtable database. Over here in ElevenLabs, we can also look at the analysis of this call, and we see that the name Jack got collected, and we didn't have a phone number, but we have the information here with the phone number and what we want the agent to do. Okay, here we are in Airtable. This is just a free software that you can use like Google Sheets to collect some information and to display that information in a nicer way. And I just created a little table here with some basic information like phone number, date and time, name, address, AI project, and the summary. All the things that we had it defined before. Now back in N8N, we're gonna go and we're gonna add a next node. So we're gonna click on plus and look for Airtable, which has direct integration, and we're gonna go and create or update a record. So here now we have to first, you have to connect your Airtable account, which I did here already, and then you can search for your base, which is for me MediaMind end of call report, and then we're going to choose the phone calls base, the table, and then we're going to map it with the phone number. That's calling. And we're going to look for this different information, and we're going to take that information from before here. This is all the information that came through, and then now we need to map it in here in the right spaces so that it goes into from N8N, from ElevenLabs through N8N into our Airtable base. Make sure that your N8N workflow is saved and published, and then we can call the agent again to get that information in.
Hi, this is Alex from MediaMind. How can I help you today?
Hi Alex, I would like to book an appointment, please.
Of course, I can help you with that. Do you already have a specific AI project in mind for your appointment?
Yeah, so we want to set up a voice agent for our agency.
Great, thanks for sharing that. Let me check for available appointment slots for you. Is there a particular day or time that works best?
Can you just give me a call back? I'll give you my name and you give me a call back. How about that?
That works for me. May I have your name, your
Yeah.
phone number, and a brief description of your project?
My name is Jacques. My phone number is 123456, and we want to set up a voice agent for our agency.
Thank you, Chad. Just to confirm, your phone number is 12.
Okay, let's go have a look at the analysis. That call just came in. Okay, we got the information. Let's go look at N8N. So we are in the N8N editor, and we're going to click on our Airtable node, and then we're going to use this information that just came through to match these fields. We have the system caller ID, which is the phone number. We have the system time, date and time, transcript summary. We have the name over here. The email address is null because we didn't collect it, and the AI project. So now if we execute this step, our information should show up in here with the number, the date, the name, well, we don't have an email address, the AI project, and the summary of the call. So here all the calls now get automatically logged and show up in here in our database. Okay, now that all of that is set up and our data gets collected at the end of the call, one other thing that we want to set up is the knowledge base. For that, we click on knowledge base, and here we basically have different ways of adding this. We can either add the URL, where it will just then crawl your website and get all the relevant information. You can add files, like for example a PDF, or you can create text and just type in what you want the AI to have access to. So once that is all done, I have added our MediaMind receptionist knowledge base here. Now we can move on to setting up the booking for the calendar. All the information we need is in the cal.com API documentation. So here we have get available time slots, and here we have create a booking. So we're gonna start from here in the tools, and we're gonna add new tool and click on add webhook. And the first one we're gonna call get available slots, and the description is gonna be this API takes a name/time range as input and returns the time slots that are available within the range. And here we want to get. So we're using get, and the URL that we can find here in the documentation is this one here, where we are getting the slots. Put that in here. And then as per usual with APIs, we need a few headers. So we're gonna start with adding a header, and the first one that we need is not secret, but a value and cal API version, and that needs to be this one right here. Next, we're gonna add another header, and this time it is gonna be the secret. So we're gonna leave it at secret, and we're gonna call it cal.com. And where you're going to get this is you're going to go to your cal.com dashboard. Then you're going to go on to, let me just start here. We're going to go to settings and then to API keys. And then you're going to create a new one here. And then you're going to take that and you're going to copy it. Here you're going to create a new one. And that's what I did here. I called it cal.com. So make sure your cal.com secret is selected here. Then we need to add some query parameters because we want to know and inquire when time slots are free for a meeting. So we're going to add param. And the first one that we need to add is event type ID. And that event type ID in my case is this one. Where you're going to find it, you're going to go back to your cal.com. And under your event types, maybe you have multiple ones. I just have one here. You click on that and then you find it up here in the URL. So this number right there is what you need to put in here. Moving forward, we need a next parameter that we're gonna call start. And then if we scroll down here, we can find it here. In the start, it is required, and then we just copy this whole text in here. That needs to go here in the description. Okay, then we add another parameter. This time it is gonna be end, so it's pretty similar. We also copy paste that in here, so you can find it at the same location. Actually, it's this one. And that is already it for the get available slots tool. So we're going to save that, and then we create a next tool, and that is going to be the book meeting tool. And here we're going to say call this function when you have collected the caller's full name and the caller's email address. And this time we need to switch to post because we want to create that booking in the calendar. And then the URL that we need is this one right here. So we are under create a booking now. So we're going to take this and post it in here. And then we're going to go again and add some headers. So the first header that we need is going to change that to value, content type. We need content type and application/JSON. Next one that we need is again the Cal API version, but very important, this one is different from the other tool that we created. And then a third header is going to be the secret, so I'm going to call that again cal.com, and we're going to make sure to choose our cal.com secret. Now we need some body parameters because this is a post request. So first of all, this is info about the call. It's not really important. And here we need again a start time, and that needs to look like this. So the start time of the booking in ISO format in UTC, it needs to be UTC time zone, and then it looks like this. This is the ISO format. Now we need to add the event type again. So we're gonna go and add another property here, and we're gonna add the event type, but it needs to be an integer at this time. But the event type is gonna be the same, so the same numbers that we had before, basically. Now what we need to add is an object, and that object is going to be the attendee. So it's the information about the caller. So the information about the person booking the meeting. Now we need to add properties underneath this attendee. So the first one is going to be the name. That is simply the name of the person. Then a next property is going to be the email. That is the email address of the person booking. And then a next property is going to be the time zone. I'm going to add that here. And we're going to say time zone in the format continent/city, like America/Sao Paulo. And that is it. We're gonna this one. Oh, we got some spaces here, probably here as well, because I copied. No, this is fine. There we go. Add tool. Perfect. This is done. So now we are going to test it.
Hi, this is Alex from MediaMind. How can I help you today?
Hi Alex, my name is Jacques. My email is jaakembert@gmail.com, and I would like to book an appointment for the 9th of February at 3 p.m. That is America, Sao Paulo time. And yes, I already have a project, a voice agent that I want to create.
Thank you, Jacques. Just to confirm, you would like to book an appointment on the 9th of February at 3 p.m.
Yes.
America. Your appointment is confirmed for the 9th of February at 3 p.m. America, Sao Paulo time. I have your email as jaakembert@gmail.com. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, that is all for now.
Thank you, Jacques. Your appointment is all set. Have a great day.
Thank you. And here we have the appointment at 3 p.m. Beautiful. If we go in here, we can have a look at the analyzers as well. That is the call. And here you have, we have the email address, we have the name, we have the booking dates, and the summary of what happened. And then you can also look at the transcription, and you can see that the get available tools, available slots tool was called, and then the book meeting tool was called, and both of them worked. So yeah, meeting is booked, and this wasn't easy. So I'm happy that we got it working. Yeah, so I hope it worked for you too. If you're a business owner and want some help in setting up a voice agent like this to answer all your calls, book a meeting with me through the link below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.